Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing well today. I have been inspired by Double D Vintage baseball cards. As you can see, some of my previous videos I've been ripping, um, you know, ultra modern cards, and just really been watching a lot of his stuff. And it's just cool to hear like the passion that he has and the excitement that he has about vintage baseball cards and him and among others. He's talked about Lou Rock TV. He's talked about Shane from Shoebox Legends, and so really I'm just kind of finding the passion again for baseball cards, and so have picked up a few really cool cards recently, and so just kind of wanted to talk about some of the pickups. I've got some vintage and modern cards here, that just want to talk about. As you can see, I got my Jackie Robinson here, my 56 tops. Was super excited to add that, and what I've been doing is just slowly selling off my modern stuff, my ultra modern cards, to get in more into vintage, the classics, and just really excited about kind of what that looks like, building a collection across years of collecting. And so the first card I want to show is this 1942. It's an Editoria Bruguera, Babe Ruth. So obviously this isn't considered a quote unquote playing days Babe Ruth, but it is considered to be or from that similar time period. And so just was really excited about this. From my understanding, these cards were actually made to be put into like a binder. And so this card is, it's really exciting to be able to have this, number one. Number two, these were made in Barcelona. And so I think there's only about 50 total copies of this card that have been graded. And obviously this is a 1. There's a guy on Reddit that has an 8, which I think is absolutely absurd. But I just thought this was a cool looking card. Obviously very obscure, and very rare. So was excited to add this one, to the collection. The next card that I have is going to be this Frank Robinson. I know, Double D, Dylan, he talks a lot about centering kind of being like really the only rarity in vintage cards. And the more I've thought about that, the more I've just thought that that's very true. Because you can find this card everywhere, but you can't find this card very well centered. And obviously it's a little off center, left to right, top to bottom, it looks pretty good. But just really excited to add this one. I've always thought this was a really, really cool looking card. And, I've had this for a couple weeks now, but this is my first chance to make a video. You could probably hear my baby crying in the background. She doesn't want to go down for a nap. But yeah, just really excited to add this one to the collection. Obviously the left to right's a little off, but really pumped to have that one. The next one is going to be this Rogers Hornsby that I recently have picked up. It's got a huge crease down the middle and a hole in it. But these are extremely rare as well. And this is a 1921 E121 American Caramel Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby is one of the most underrated players in the history of baseball, in my opinion, and underappreciated as well. I've read some research about him being difficult to play with, and so that may attribute some to that, but just an incredible player, an incredible opportunity to own this card. There's some paper loss there, and this is I guess there's 4 different versions of this card, and you can really tell which version you're holding by the back, but I believe this is the most common. It's a version A. So beautiful Hornsby card. Doesn't have a ton of cards, Rogers Hornsby, but was really excited to add that one, despite the condition. The next one I'm going to talk about is a card, more of a modern card that, as you kind of talk about making your own labels, this is where Double D's vintage baseball cards really inspired me. Making your own labels for your cards, and I just thought this was really cool. I got this from the card shop for $20, but it's the Topps Heritage 2022 Topps Heritage Paul Goldschmidt. This is on card autograph, but he won the MVP this year. I paid $20 for this card, which is unreal that you know that card it was available at that price. I just thought about the significance, and you know, obviously this mirrors the 1973 top set, and I thought that was really cool. Also, I had my wife help me design these labels, and you know, made the labels for that. So I just wanted to try, you know, making 10 of these, which I did. And man, I just think it's such a cool looking card. And obviously Goldie's a future Hall of Famer, so couldn't really believe that was able to pick this one up for $20. Pretty unreal. So just wanted to kind of talk about that one, and then yeah, so the next one is this 1964 Willie Mays. Obviously, the centering isn't perfect on this, but I was just really excited about seeing this Mays. It was obviously raw. I got it from my card shop, you know, and I like looking into the history of when these cards were, you know, were made. So he led the league with 11 wins above replacement during the 64 season, which I thought was pretty significant. That's anytime you're over 10, that's a very significant, you know, season. I graded this, you know, a 4. The corners are a little banged up and the centering isn't great. But you know, it is a good looking card. You know, I love the 64 set, and you know, just the way that it looks, and you know, with a team name at the top and the player name at the bottom. I just think this is a really cool Maze to own. I actually, funny enough, I had a PSA 6 of this card that was pretty well centered and looked really good, but I traded somebody for it. It's not here yet, but I made a trade for it, and I'll show you guys that card when it comes in. But really excited. You know, obviously I had 2 of them, so I said, well, I'll go ahead and make the trade and keep the lower grade Maze for now, and you know, maybe pick up a higher grade down the line. The next one here that I wanted to talk about, and this is again, just been watching a ton of you know, sports cards, specifically Double D Vintage, that channel. But you know, obviously this isn't a great example, but the 1975 Topps Mini Robin Yount rookie card. This one is a little bit of a diamond cut and not well centered, but I saw it at the, you know, at the card shop. The image looks really good. It was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of these up. Just because I love the look of the card. It's really cool to kind of hear other people talk about why they like a card, and you know, just really enjoyed hearing Dylan talk about, you know, what he likes about this card, and so figured I'd pick it up as well. Again, centering is off, you know, top to bottom and left to right, but really just I don't own a copy of this, and so I was like, I need to pick it up. So did a little bit more research into Robin Yount and his career, and you know, kind of what he accomplished during that time, and was like, I gotta get this card. So picked that one up raw, and then the next one is. I'll give you a little background about my life. So, my family in 1992 moved to Texas, but before that, we lived in St. Louis, and I remember seeing Willie McGee play, you know, for the Cardinals back in the, you know, late 80s and early 90s. You know, and just a phenomenal player, and he actually won an MVP in 1985. And you can pick these cards up for, you know, $2. This is his rookie from 1984. 3 Topps, and so just really enjoy. You know, he was a triple threat player. Played really well in the field. Decent pop, a ton of speed, and I you know, I was just like, man, Willie McGee. I wonder what his rookie cards are going for, and just started looking on eBay, and was like, man, I can get this for just a couple dollars. So really excited to add this one to my collection. I think it's a, you know, beautiful card, and it's just cool. It's cool to, you know, even though he's not like a historically significant necessarily player, he did win an MVP, but you know, he's not in the Hall of Fame, and you know, it's just cool to have that, and a little tribute to my my childhood. So the next one I wanted to talk about is just this 67 Maze. This is another one. I bought this in the 64 here in Dallas locally at Nick's Sports Cards. Really just like the look of this card, and I think it actually mentions on the back that he's truly one of the giants of the game. He's second all time on all time list of home run hitters. So I thought that was just like really cool that it's cool to these cards catalog the history of these players being so successful, and it's just cool. In 67 he had 542 home runs. So this was this is a pretty cool card. I just love holding it and thinking about somebody cracked this pack open, and Willie was like the Shohei Ohtani of the time, right? Like, or not even Shohei Ohtani, like, I mean, Albert Pujols. And so this was like a later part of his career. I mean, obviously, still was just a phenomenal player, but I just love seeing these cards. Obviously I'd like to add the 73 tops at some point, in a very centered grade, very clean grade, but just really enjoying the Willie Mays stuff. Mays is arguably the best player ever. So wanted to pick that one up. And then lastly, obviously, this has been hanging out in the background this whole time. But again, the Jackie Robinson, you talk about baseball, you talk about breaking barriers, and somebody who truly, just exemplified, what playing the game right and doing the right things, and that's Jackie. And so I love the look at these 56 tops. I think they're just beautiful cards. I like, the portrait in the front here, and then the action shot in the back. You got Jackie stealing a base here. I want to say that's Yogi Berra. I could be wrong, but just really, just an amazing card, and one that I'll have forever. Obviously centering, top to bottom's a little off, but, left to right, it looks pretty good. And the corners are pretty beat up, but, I don't really care. I just really like the card. I just really like, and I love this set. I think 56 tops might actually be my favorite set. I do have the Hank Aaron, the 56 from the 56 tops Hank Aaron, which I think is a really cool looking card as well. There's some others I'd like to get at some point, and I'm sure I will, but for now, the Jackie is the one that I own. I'd like to pick up a 54, the 54 tops Jackie at some point as well. But these are kind of just some of the recent pickups that I've had. Obviously very excited about kind of just doing the vintage thing. It's just been like a whole lot of fun to kind of get back into it and find a love for it. And, I've just really enjoyed hearing, Double D Vintage, Dylan just talk about his passion for cards and why he loves them. And so, I'm just very, very pumped about, continuing to get into it and finding new little niches and things. And so just wanted to share this quick video, but I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday.